In the late 1980s, the world moved at a slower pace. Letters crossed oceans in worn envelopes, and every international phone call was a carefully calculated luxury. Paris at that time wore an air of elegance, cafes bustling with conversation, the aroma of freshly baked croissants, and the soft strains of an accordion echoing through the streets of Montmartre. Thousands of miles away, Mumbai, still called Bombay by many, thrived with color, scent, and sound. Markets buzzed with voices and spices, and the sea breeze carried stories from centuries past. It was in this world, divided by culture and distance, that Claire, a 27-year-old French photographer, received the assignment that would change the course of her life: to travel to India and capture its ancient religious traditions for a prestigious Parisian magazine. What she did not yet know was that, amid the sound of prayers and the click of her camera, she would encounter a gaze that would forever alter the way she saw the world. Claire wandered through the sunlit halls of the International Photography Conference in Paris, her camera swinging lightly from her shoulder. She was focused, meticulous, and entirely absorbed in the world of images and stories waiting to be captured. Across the room, Arjun Mehta adjusted the strap of his satchel, his mind occupied with notes for his upcoming presentation on traditional Indian architecture. He was composed, polite, and carried with him an air of quiet curiosity. Their eyes met for the first time near a display of cultural photographs. Claire noticed the warmth in his gaze, a mixture of intelligence and gentle amusement. Arjun, in turn, was drawn to the way she moved with both confidence and curiosity, as if the world itself were her canvas. A brief, accidental brush of hands sparked a moment of awareness, a fleeting connection that neither could ignore. They exchanged polite smiles, yet underneath, an unspoken recognition lingered. This encounter, simple as it seemed, was the beginning of something neither Paris nor Mumbai could have prepared them for. In the weeks following the conference, Claire and Arjun found themselves exchanging letters, postcards, and even cassette tapes. Each message carried fragments of their worlds: Claire's snapshots of Parisian streets, Arjun's sketches of ancient temples in Mumbai. Though thousands of miles apart, their connection deepened with every word. Claire shared stories of her life in Paris, the quiet mornings at cafes, the chaos of the metro, the soft glow of the Seine at dusk. Arjun wrote about Mumbai's vibrant markets, the scent of spices that lingered in every corner, and the hum of life that never seemed to pause. Occasionally, they would speak over expensive international phone calls, savoring each fleeting moment of conversation. They laughed over small misunderstandings, marveled at cultural differences, and discovered a shared love for art, music, and philosophy. As days turned into weeks, a bond formed that neither time nor distance could weaken. Every letter was a thread, weaving together two lives, two cultures, and two hearts, drawing them ever closer despite the vast ocean that separated them. As the months passed, Claire and Arjun's bond grew stronger, yet the realities of their worlds began to impose themselves. Friends of Claire, though supportive, warned her gently about the difficulties of a cross-cultural, long-distance relationship. "It's beautiful," they said, "but so complicated." Meanwhile, in Mumbai, Arjun faced pressure from his family. His parents, bound by tradition, expected him to marry within their community. The thought of defying them was daunting, yet his heart pulled him irresistibly toward Claire. Small disagreements began to surface over cultural differences, gestures misinterpreted, expectations unspoken, and the subtle tension of trying to merge two entirely different lives. Claire wished for freedom and spontaneity, Arjun for structure and family approval. Even their conversations, once effortless, now carried an undercurrent of worry. Would their love survive the expectations of the world around them? And yet, despite the distance, despite the barriers, neither could let go. Each letter, each call, each whispered hope became a rebellion against the limits imposed upon them. In the summer of 1990, Claire boarded a plane bound for Mumbai, her heart racing with anticipation and apprehension. The journey was long, and the unfamiliarity of the airport sign, the accents, and the constant hum of travelers only heightened her sense of adventure. When she finally arrived, the city struck her with its overwhelming vitality. Streets crowded with rickshaws and cars, vendors calling out their wares, and the scent of spices blending with the salty breeze from the Arabian Sea. Mumbai was alive, chaotic, and mesmerizing, a world entirely unlike Paris, yet teeming with its own rhythm and beauty. Arjun was waiting at the airport, his presence a comforting anchor amid the unfamiliar surroundings. Seeing him again after months apart was like stepping into a dream. They embraced, and for a moment the distance and barriers of the past months seemed to vanish. Her first days in Mumbai were a whirlwind. Arjun took her through bustling markets, serene temples, and quiet streets where the city's heartbeat slowed to a gentle rhythm. Yet the cultural contrasts were impossible to ignore. Claire struggled to adapt to local customs and expectations, while Arjun navigated the delicate balance between welcoming her and respecting his family's traditions. Despite the differences, their connection deepened. Every shared smile, every discovery of new sights, and every quiet moment together strengthened the invisible thread that had been growing between them across continents and time zones. After a few intense weeks, Claire returned to Paris, her heart heavy with longing. The streets she had once wandered freely now seemed quieter, almost muted, as if the city itself sensed the absence of the person who had become so central to her thoughts. Arjun remained in Mumbai, walking through familiar streets with a bittersweet ache. Every temple visit, every crowded market reminded him of Claire's laughter, her curiosity, and the gentle way she noticed the details that others often overlooked. Months passed. Letters arrived less frequently, phone calls became rarer, and the silence stretched like an unspoken question between them. Both wondered if their love could survive the relentless pull of reality, the expectations of family, the constraints of culture, and the cruel distance that separated them. Yet even in the quietest moments, both Claire and Arjun found themselves replaying memories of their time together. Each smile, each touch, each shared glance became a beacon of hope. Though separated by oceans, their hearts remained intertwined, holding on to a fragile but persistent belief that destiny had more in store for them than the world could see. In the spring of 1992, 2 years after Claire's return to Paris, a package arrived unexpectedly at her apartment. It was unmarked and worn, as if it had traveled across continents for far too long. Curious, she opened it carefully, revealing a letter in Arjun's familiar handwriting. As she read, Her eyes widened. The letter had been written 2 years earlier, shortly after she had left Mumbai. In it, Arjun poured out his heart, confessing that he was willing to defy his family and risk everything for their love. He explained that he had tried to call her countless times, but the letters and messages had been delayed, misplaced, and in some cases, lost entirely in the postal system. Claire felt a rush of emotions, shock, relief, and a renewed surge of hope. What she had believed to be abandonment was never abandonment at all. It was fate's cruel delay, a test of patience and faith. Holding the letter close, Claire realized that love, though challenged by time, distance, and circumstance, had survived. And now more than ever, the path forward was clear. She had to reach him, and they had to reunite. A few weeks later, Claire arrived in Rome, a neutral city chosen for their long-awaited reunion. The city, bathed in golden sunlight and echoing with the footsteps of centuries, seemed like the perfect stage for the next chapter of their story. Arjun was already there, waiting in a quiet piazza near the fountain. When their eyes met across the cobblestones, the months of separation melted away. They ran toward each other, laughter and tears mingling in the warm Roman air, and embraced as if the distance of the past 2 years had never existed. But reality soon returned. Arjun revealed the difficult truth. His family had broken ties with him after he had defied their wishes to be with Claire. The choice he had made was not without consequences. He could no longer return to Mumbai without facing the permanent disapproval of those closest to him. Despite the weight of this revelation, the reunion was tender and full of hope. They walked together through Rome's streets, hand in hand, feeling the delicate balance of joy and uncertainty. Every shared glance, every quiet conversation reinforced their decision to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together. In the quiet moments after their reunion, Claire and Arjun faced the reality of their situation. Love had brought them together, but the world outside still pressed upon them. Arjun's family remained resolute in their disapproval, and returning to Mumbai as a couple was no longer an option without facing permanent estrangement. They spent long evenings discussing their future. Could they leave everything familiar behind? Could Claire adapt to a life so far from Paris? And could Arjun truly start anew, away from the home he had always known? Yet in the midst of doubt, a profound clarity emerged. They realized that love was not merely a feeling. It was a choice to protect each other, to nurture the bond that had survived distance, misunderstanding, and cultural expectation. With determination, they made their decision to forge a new life together, wherever that path might lead. The challenge was great, but their commitment was greater. Every obstacle had only strengthened their resolve, proving that true love could endure even the most formidable tests. Claire and Arjun eventually settled in Marseille, a vibrant port city where the Mediterranean sun painted golden reflections on the water. It was a place that symbolized the meeting of cultures, just as their lives had converged across continents. They built a life filled with simple joys, morning walks along the harbor, photographing the play of light on old buildings, sharing meals infused with flavors from both France and India. Every day was a testament to the love that had endured time, distance, and challenge. And yet, even in their peaceful routine, the memory of their journey remained vivid. The letters, the long phone calls, the fleeting moments in Paris and Mumbai, all were woven into the tapestry of their shared story. In the evenings, they would sit together, watching the sun set over the sea, hearts quietly thankful for the twists of fate that had brought them here. Love, they had learned, was not just a fleeting emotion, but a steadfast force capable of bridging oceans, overcoming traditions, and transforming two lives into one. And so, beneath the warm glow of Marseille's sunsets, Claire and Arjun found their sanctuary, a place where love was not only survived, but thrived, eternally resilient and profoundly beautiful.